Microsoft puts spyware into Windows 11 PCs and laptops. Microsoft has recently introduced a new feature on Windows 11, called Recall, which literally screenshots and records everything you see or do on your Windows 11 computer. Not only does this draw massive concern to people like myself, but this has sparked major controversy amongst Linux users as well. Many are saying you all shall just switch to Linux, but that's not how this stuff works. Take 1 second to utilize that tiny pea brain of yours, Linux fanboy, and you will start to realize that Linux is just not gonna cut it for everyone, due to software limitations, or other things. They may simply lack the interest in migrating to another OS, or they cannot migrate due to software and hardware incompatibility. So while Windows is turning into a garbage disposal service, Linux is not exactly the end solution to the problem. Really, it's only going to be of interest to people like myself, who are technically inclined to experiment with technology and operating systems. And I also love Linux because it's free, and free is in cost, as well as in freedom, but it's just not going to be a suitable choice for the majority of Windows users. So what should you do, if you are worried about Microsoft spying on you while you're on your PC? Before we delve into any potential workarounds, let's first understand why this feature is dangerous, and will definitely cause a lot of controversy amongst privacy-conscious users. First of all, this feature allows Microsoft, and anyone in a position of power, such as your government or authorities, to see exactly every single thing you have ever seen or done on your Windows 11 device. And not only does this allow for them to use that information against you in a court of law, it's also going to give hackers a free ticket to hack into your accounts, because any sites you visited and signed into will be captured by Copilot. This is way worse than a keylogger, or any other type of malware, because it's secretly being disguised as a helpful feature, whilst actually being used to spy on us even more, hog more of our data, and then give it to people who we must seriously question when it comes to handling user data. Has Microsoft lost their fucking mind or something? I am very reluctant to use Windows 11, even when I buy a custom PC soon. I will likely run Windows 10 till it hits end of support, to which I shall either dual boot Windows 11 with a Linux distribution of my choice, or forget about Windows entirely, and switch over to Linux. But the big issue is that my custom PC will do a lot of things I cannot do in Linux, not least without major time and effort going into ultimately pointless workarounds, so it's going to be a very tough decision. I may continue to run Windows 10 a few months past the end of support deadline, but doing so would seriously increase my risk of becoming victim to malware, so I want to get off of Windows 10 as soon as it's officially end of life. This Orwellian feature is taking Windows down the dystopian route of 1984's fascist dystopian reality, and the very sad truth is that these corporations will continue to treat us worsely. They will refuse to listen to us, they just want the almighty dollar, that's all that matters. And if Microsoft can make a shit ton of money with this new recall feature, then they will do everything they can to do so, and so far, I have not seen anyone find any workaround to disable this recall feature, and chances are, even if it can be disabled, it will be back up and running whenever a Windows update hits your device. So every time you disable a privacy setting in Windows, or really, any setting, just remember that Microsoft will screw you over whenever the next update hits your device. Maybe it's time to switch to Linux? Oh, no way, we are not taking that route. Nobody wants Linux, or at least the non-geeks of this world. In other words, if you're not a tech nerd, or a programmer, then Linux is not going to be of much interest to you. Since Linux is quite limited in software choice, many will be bedridden to using Windows, and may not have much other choice in the matter. Microsoft wants to make sure you cannot use anything else other than their proprietary piece of shit garbage disposal unit that now also includes a dump of all your web activity, app history, etc. Literally anything you see and do can be found by a powerful entity, or even Microsoft themselves. If they want a sneak peek and see what you have been up to, there's nothing stopping them from doing so. Recall is an unwanted excessive force that will grant even more power to those who rule us, including governments and authorities, and whether or not you can truly disable it is out of the question, because it seems like Microsoft are doing everything they can to make it impossible to remove or disable this feature, and even if you have nothing to hide, you should worry about the next hacker that gets access to your Windows device. Your computer won't even let you know that you're being hacked, and yet, Microsoft will spy on your little every fucking move, click, search, etc. So if you look at pornography, they will see those hot images and videos you have been consuming. If you often log into your bank account, Microsoft are gonna see everything there too, your balance, transaction history, etc. If you use software like Tor to access the dark web, Microsoft might report you to the police. You would be a fucking idiot to use the Tor browser on any Windows device. Only use Tor on free and open source systems such as GNU Linux, or BSD. You cannot trust Apple and Microsoft, especially when it comes to concealing illegal activity. Why on earth would they not report you if they knew you were accessing the dark web? So if you are privacy conscious, then this is the absolute worst thing you can deal with or worry about. It's constantly creeping up your nerves, seeing your every move. And this just creeps me the fuck out. I am not happy about this decision, Microsoft. Maybe it will give me more reason to badmouth about you disgusting rats, because Microsoft treats their users like lab rats, using us to experiment their next big thing, probably a secret deal with the NSA to spy on our every move in real time, through screenshots and screen recordings. So why is Microsoft doing such terrible things? Many people are unaware, or do not care about the dangers hidden within this feature. Only some people, myself included, have a brain in their head that screams, "Hey, something's fishy here. Microsoft gonna start sending screenshots to the three-letter agencies, and what if you so happen to be looking at porn, and it's illegal in your country? Well, guess what? There's literally nothing you can do to save yourself now. So down come the cops, they perform an arrest on you, the ever-so-innocent person just looking at hot chicks online, and now your life is ruined because the greedy bastards could not satisfy their greed for money with what they already had. So they had to go and introduce this Orwellian feature that now gives Microsoft the ultimatum when it comes to spying on their users. So, what should you do, if you are really worried about Microsoft spying on your every move? I regret saying this, but your only real choice to free yourself from Microsoft's chain is to eliminate Windows from your life altogether, and switch to a free and open source operating system, such as Linux, because now you're worry-free of any potential spyware. No Linux distro I know has such features that Windows 11 has, and it's terrible to see Microsoft deliberately encouraging its users to switch to Linux, because it's shit like this that even makes some people want to switch to Linux. Now granted, not everyone will use Linux, but people like me who have a sense of privacy and security at mind, will almost certainly try to avoid Windows where possible, and you should consider compartmentalizing your activities on several devices, so for your Windows-only stuff, and games, only, and I will say this again. You are to only use those apps and games that you have to use Windows for, and try to not do anything you would consider sensitive or personal, especially knowing that Microsoft have gotten more control and power to watch what you do with your PC. Talk about telemetry data collection skyrocketing over 9,000 times. This will increase Microsoft's power level to over 9,000.
What does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right!
We are headed for a scary and dark future with Windows, so now is the time to consider trying Linux, if of course, it is of any interest to you. You do not have to use Linux if you don't want to, but I would recommend Linux Mint or Ubuntu for newcomers to Linux, and for very low-end computers, Linux Lite should perfect. It won't hog up all your resources like Windows.
It's over 9,000!
Anyway, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next video. Bye for now.